Most people, when they host a dinner party, pour their energy into the table, the flowers, the candles, the arrangement, making sure everything looks considered when the guests walk in. Old money families don't. They pour their energy into making sure no one notices any of it. And no, it's not about minimalism. It's something more specific than that. Something you can apply before your next dinner. And once you see how it plays out, in the table, the room, the conversation, you won't be able to unsee it. There's a hosting instinct most of us share. We treat a dinner party like a performance. We spend days on the centerpiece. We research recipes we've never made before. We want guests to walk in and feel something. Impressed, mostly. And this instinct makes sense. When you put in the effort, you want people to notice. That's human. But here's what old money hosting understands that most of us don't. The point of a dinner party is not the dinner. It's what happens at the table, the conversation, the ease, the feeling guests carry home with them at the end of the night. Everything else, the flowers, the food, the room, exists to serve that, not to be noticed itself. There's a phrase that comes up again and again when you look at how old European families, British, French, Italian, have hosted for generations. The best host disappears. Not literally, they're there, they're present, but they've arranged everything so well in advance that nothing requires their attention during the evening. The table doesn't need adjusting, the food doesn't need explaining, the conversation doesn't need steering. The host is there, you just don't notice them working. This runs against every hosting instinct. When we put effort into something, we want the credit. We want guests to say, "This is beautiful. How did you manage all this?" Old money hosting doesn't want that question asked. It wants guests to feel that the evening just happened, that it arrived effortlessly for them. That's the rule. The table is where performance hosting shows itself most clearly. The common instinct is to maximize it. Layered place settings. Coordinated colors, a centerpiece that announces, effort was made here. The old money instinct is the opposite. Create a table your guests don't consciously notice, but feel good sitting at. What that looks like, 1 or 2 low flowers, or no flowers at all, something that doesn't block eye contact across the table, linen instead of polyester. You notice the difference when you pick up the napkin. Enough space between settings that no one feels crowded. Candlelight, warm and low. The test is simple. Could your guests have a 2-hour conversation at this table without the table itself interrupting them? If yes, you've done it right. And here's the part that sounds counterintuitive. The food's job isn't to be a conversation piece. It's to fuel the conversation without being noticed. Performance hosting tends toward ambitious food. A new recipe, something unusual, a dish that requires explanation when it arrives at the table. Old money hosting tends toward the opposite, familiar, well executed. Food that needs no introduction, a properly roasted chicken, a good pasta, a simple salad dressed just before it's served, bread you didn't bake yourself but chose carefully, wine that's good without being the point. There's a reason for this. When food is unfamiliar or elaborate, it becomes the subject of conversation. Guests spend time processing what they're eating. What is this? How did you make it? And the actual conversation, which is why everyone came, gets interrupted. The food's job is to disappear, to make people feel comfortable and well-fed without asking for their attention. This doesn't mean cheap. It means choose quality you already trust, prepare what you already know, and serve it without making a speech about it. 2 things that most hosting guides skip entirely. Atmosphere. Lighting is the fastest way to change how people feel in a room. Overhead lights make everyone look tired and the room feel functional. Lamps, floor lamps, table lamps, candles make a room feel inhabited. Chosen. Set the lighting before guests arrive. Don't adjust it once they're there. Music is the same. It should be low enough that after 5 minutes people stop noticing it's playing. The moment someone says "great playlist," it's too loud. Background music that earns a compliment has failed its job. Temperature, slightly cool, is better than warm. People relax more, stay longer. Conversation. The host's instinct, again, is performance. To hold court, to be interesting, to fill silences. The old money instinct is facilitation. Ask questions. Connect guests who don't know each other. Listen more than you speak. By the end of the evening, guests should feel like the conversation simply happened, that it flowed on its own, that the host barely had to do anything. That invisible effort, that's the work. So here's the rule, in full. The table, restrained, not performative. The food, quality you trust, not ambition you're testing for the first time. The atmosphere, set it and forget it. Lighting, music, temperature. The conversation, you're there to connect people, not to impress them. Every decision points toward the same goal. Remove the friction. Remove anything that asks guests to pay attention to the host's effort. When it works, and it will, guests leave thinking, that was a wonderful evening, and they can't quite say why. That's what old money hosting actually is. Not expensive, not minimalist, just invisible. If you want to go further, the quiet luxury approach to the home, to how you dress when you host, to slow living as a whole, there's more here. Start with the video on the old money aesthetic. It goes deeper on the philosophy behind all of this.